What are the advantages and...
Hi there, welcome to today's Business Growth Club show. We are so pleased to have you here. The theme is growth marketing.
We're talking about actions and consequences today.
It's all about purpose.
Driving business growth with using KPIs.
We're talking money mindset.
The Growth Club, I mean, not to oversell it, but it's so well organised. So yeah, it was totally invaluable.
The Growth Club, coupled alongside with the Masters that I'm doing at Strategic Leadership at the moment, both of those things happening collectively have definitely transformed, and the Growth Club did have a massive impact for our business.
What is it that attracted you to come to the Growth Club in the first place? Let me just ask you to start off with that.
Well, because it was the two of you, basically.
Right, good evening, everybody. So this is Mahmood here, who's just made a complete hash of the opening sequence as well. So for those of you tuning in thinking, what are we supposed to be watching the Business Growth Club tonight? What's all these strange images? You can blame the technician, I'm moi. So this is Mahmood here tonight with my friend and business partner, Jo, who are going to build on a fantastic show that we did last week, all about behavioural economics, but more specifically, we're going to focus on 2 or 3 topics for you. There's going to be some great takeaways, which I'll showcase in a moment.
Yeah, we've got a great show, so welcome back. It's good to see you again. Don't forget to just join in. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your ideas, and any comments or questions that you've got. So it's brilliant to be here. And Mahmood, I don't think anybody would have noticed. I think you did a brilliant job on the buttons there. Really, really good.
You're there as a backup, Jo, just in case, though.
So we've got a really great show. We're going to talk again, as Mahmood said, about behavioural economics. And if you missed the show last week, don't worry. You can watch it again on replay. It's also uploaded onto our YouTube channel. But what behavioural economics is, it's the real way that we make decisions, because although we might think we're very rational, practical, logical creatures, actually how we make decisions is more complex and not as straightforward as that, because we've evolved in a certain way and we use those thinking patterns to make our decisions. So we've got 3 good things to talk about tonight, but you can use these 3 things in your business super simply and they'll have fab results. And I know you're a big fan of these as well, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a few things that just really expanding on what you just said there, Jo. So if we think we're rational, logical, we look at evidence, we come up with decisions. Unfortunately, unless you're in that 5%, it ain't going to happen that way. We're irrational, emotional, occasionally subjective and all the rest of it. That's how we make decisions, which is, not a bad thing. We're human beings. We're not robots. And last week, we focused on the applications for your business. And that's what we're going to do this week. And when Jo and me first started talking about this topic, it's an incredibly expansive topic, by the way. It's amazing how much you use it in your public life, your daily life, your business life. So what we're going to talk about tonight, now if this works, so we're going really super tech here now with slides, we're going to be talking about 2 things plus a third. So nudge theory, I don't know if you noticed that wonderful little baby elephant with its mummy elephant. That's a bit of a nudge there. And we're going to look at, now, what do you call it, Jo? Is it commitment devices?
Yeah, commitment devices and defaults. So defaults is related to nudges, and commitment devices help as well. So they're all sort of overlapping things. So we've got nudge theory, default settings, and commitment devices. Is that right? Did I get that right?
I believe it is. And we've got some good visuals and examples to showcase you. Now, for those of you who just joined the show, thank you for your company tonight. If you're catching this up on replay, put the old hashtag replay in the comments box. We know you're there. It makes us feel better. We know that somebody's watching, but also it means we can respond to your questions, any thoughts. So if you've got any questions, throw them at us. And as always, me and Jo will answer them the best we can.
Yeah, and I want to have some fun with this as well and see, when we get going, see how many examples of what we're talking about you can think of as we go through, because these behavioural economics examples are everywhere. They really are. Once you become aware of them, you start to spot them and see them in action. There is actually something called the Behavioural Insights team, which is also known as the Nudge Unit, and at the British Cabinet Office. And they're really getting insight and using behavioural science to drive how we behave as a nation in the private and voluntary sectors, as well as in the public sector as well. So it's all around us. And we're going to get started, I think, with a few nudges. Now, what is a nudge? A nudge, like the picture there, is just a gentle, it's something that gives us a gentle push into the direction that's good for us. So, we've got some comments here talking of nudges. We've got, hi, Richard. Evening both. Happy Pancake Day. Is it Pancake Day?
I didn't even realise it was Pancake Day.
I didn't know it was Pancake Day. I just think one day is going into another, isn't it?
Now, see, on that great example there, Richard, on nudge theory here. So a subtle change of behaviour that's made me slightly hungry now, and that means that I don't think I'm going to get any pancakes on the way home, but it's certainly put that into my thinking process.
Yeah, and in fact, having sort of pancake displays and things in supermarkets right in front of us would be a good example of nudge theory. We'll get on to what it is in a moment. And Jasmine says hi as well. So it's really great to see you. Welcome back again. So good that you're watching, good that you're with us. So what is nudge theory? It's looking at the small changes in the environment that can be made to influence the right behaviour. Now, this isn't sort of really evil Bond villain mind tricks or anything. We're not doing this for bad stuff. I mean, everything is bad or good depending on how you use it. But of course, we're stressing here it's about using it with integrity, giving people choice and doing it the right way, doing it with ethics in mind. So it's about creating the right environment so that people can make better choices much more easily without really thinking about it too hard. And everybody wins.
Absolutely. And in the context, if you want it as a wider application as well, we see it in public policy, we see it in health, we see it in persuading people to pay taxes. In your business, when you're looking in terms of you set yourself a goal, you want to get people to get there, you want to improve their performance, it's just looking at a positive way to influence and change people's behaviour, which helps you get to your outcomes there as well. So have that at the back of your mind. And like all things, you can use it for bad and you use it for good. We're only interested in people who use it for good.
Yeah. So we've got some examples, I think, haven't we, coming up? Some good ones.
Now, let me see if I can use this little device.
Yeah.
So let's crack on. Here we go.
Yeah. So these are a couple of famous ones here. So the first nudge is, you can see there's some stairs, and they're designed to be piano key stairs. So when you step on the stairs, they make they play a note, and you can go up and down them and play tunes. And they're there to encourage people in Sweden to take the stairs instead of the escalator. So just keeping us fitter and healthier. And what actually happens is that people don't just walk up the stairs to make the music. They go up and down and jump over and try and play tunes. And you get groups of people playing tunes together. So they're actually doing even more than just taking the stairs instead of the escalator. And that's because in the environment, there's a very simple addition, which is these really fun steps that right there, and people can just go and use them. The other pretty famous one is one of the earliest nudges, is the urinal. So we know how to be sophisticated.
The P application.
So, and what you can probably just about see, you might need to sort of zoom in a little bit, but what you can just about see is that there is an image of a fly engraved into the urinal. So that's that black dot right at the back of the urinal. And that's in an airport in Holland. And it's there to give gentlemen something to aim at when they are relieving themselves. And what happens is there is less wee on the floor because they're aiming into the urinal. Okay, so that's a nudge, a very classic example of nudge. We've all seen them. You're driving along and you're just about on the speed limit or whatever. Those signs that flash up at you and give you a smiley face if you're within the limit, or flash at you if you're not. There's no consequence particularly It's just a reminder to slow down and a reward if you do. And the final one on this slide, 2 rubbish bins. One of them has got a picture of landfill on, and the one next to it has got the recycling picture. And it's just reminding people that actually, if you put this in the right, put your thing in the right bin, because if you can recycle it, it's much better to go in the recycle bin than in the landfill, contributing to all that big pile of rubbish. So think about things that you experience. Let us know in the comments the ones you experience. Can you think of any more? Mahmood, you've got a few more for us.
I've got a few more to share, but what I love about these as well, Joe, before we go on to the next lot here, in terms of what you take away from these, you've got an image, a picture, which is conveying something of a positive action. You've got a picture and a visual imagery, which cuts down lots of text there as well. People connect to it, people relate to it there as well. And even though some of these behaviours, so it's easier to walk up, to get the escalator, to go up the sliding stairs, whatever they're called, than it is to actually go up and down the stairs here, people's behaviour is still being modified by that positive reinforcement, that positive change there as well. So, when it comes to things like your marketing copy, when it comes to communicating, simple is best.
Yeah, and it's fun, and they're connecting into emotion as well, because we want to feel good about putting our recycling in the bin. We're having some fun aiming at the fly. We're having some fun with the music. It's good stuff.
Now, on the same theme here, just to give you now, we could have literally carried on for the next few hours just sharing examples of nudge theory in action, things that we can relate to. I've just picked 3 at random here. Now, that one, I won't tell you what Joe said that reminded of earlier on. So the top left-hand side there, that is actually from a park in Holland. And it's when you go near the hole, it's basically for rubbish collection, litter collection. My Dutch is very poor, by the way, so I'm not even going to pretend to say what the Dutch version is. But it's basically feed me, put litter in here, and people go up, they're incentivized, they put the litter in there, the park is maintained at a very good, clean standard. And they're getting the behaviour they want, i.e. people putting litter not on the floor but actually in a rubbish bin there as well. So for me that was a great big fantastic imagery. I'll do the tax one next, by the way. So those of you, if you're work for yourself, you're running your own businesses here, we know nobody as a positive thing likes to pay taxes, and predominantly amongst this SME group here, there's a big problem in terms of people paying their taxes on time. People filing their taxes. It's not always because of default or fraud or anything like that. They just don't get around to it. So this is a sample of correspondence that the tax authorities got involved in, trying to persuade people to do the right taxes, getting their taxes on time. So it starts from the lower end. Please pay your taxes. Straightforward request. I think the response rate was about 35%. As it built up, is the messaging increased in the what they wanted to engage people with. And at the far extreme here, where they got most response, was if we will pay, we can build a park near you. So that correlation between filing your taxes and actually what the outcome was a very positive thing as well. They did actually find that when you do things in a very negative, punitive, having a go at people, that tends to have an opposite effect. Now the nudge, the last one, would you like extra fries for that? That's the example of nudge theory going into things like product placement, upselling. So for those of you who've gone into, there are lots of other takeaway shows. I'm not going to mention which one this is. You go in there, you place your order, and there's always, would you like X with that? Would you like ice cream? The upselling. So in a bar, hospitality, think about as you're doing these things, how you might actually persuade people to actually engage and buy more. So for me, that just 3 samples picked out there, and we've just got a wider application.
Yeah, I think you mean the McDonald's in Leicester, don't you?
We won't be the Apple store, I can tell you that.
We won't be the Apple store. No, we've talked about them in previous shows, haven't we? So really, really simple. The NHS using nudges to remind you of appointments on text, all sorts of things. And in fact, the point here is, what can you do to nudge your customers? How can you make your website more seamless so that customers can buy more easily? If you've got a shop or premises, how can you make it easier to do business with you? And also, how can you set yourself up for success? What nudges can you put in place so that you do the things that you need to do? And now this is I've got a game here for Mahmood, and he doesn't know this.
I
He doesn't
don't
know. Yeah, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready as I'm ever going to be.
So the question is, I've changed something in my environment and I've incorporated a nudge. Can you spot, bearing in mind everybody else is watching, right, that Mahmood and I, we go live every single week. We have done since last March. And we also talk to each other early mornings during the week. So let's see if he notices. So I've changed something in my environment, Mahmood, and I've incorporated a nudge. And if you're watching as well, can you see what it is?
Well, I would say it's probably that flashing. Is it a robot behind you by your cupboard? There's something I'm saying. I don't know why I'm pointing my finger, Jo. It's there. You can't see my finger going there.
I can't know.
But that thing behind you, I don't know if that's it's by like not a medicine bottle there. It looks like it's flashing lights or there's water coming in and out of it. That's my instinctive first reaction.
Okay, that just might be the lighting because it's absolutely chucking it down with rainbow.
Okay, I will say then before I have another guess. Then remember, this is the old theory as well that generally speaking, if you get a guy to look for something, they will stand in the middle of the room like a kid and going, can't see it, and so therefore taking that stereotype into account, let me have a look. This is how rubbish I am. My wife, by the way, does things in the house. And I know several weeks later, months later, I go, "Oh, you've changed something." So she gets away with quite a lot. I'm going to say that's not your mic because that's not a commerce flask. I was going to say just the name Jo at the back.
Okay, so the name Jo at the back has been there for every single show we've ever done.
Okay.
But the nudge I've put in place, I have got some new house plants. That were delivered. Yes, they were delivered today, and I had a little one up there. But I've got, and I kill them. So what I've done is to nudge. Can you see that there's a water squirter? Hang on, which way? On top of the cabinet next to the Jo sign. Yeah. And there's some plant food. Hang on, no, that way because I'm mirrored. Some plant food just in front of that plant there. So I can just water and look after the plants the whole time. A bit of fun, but there we go. Because I like plants, but I keep killing them. So I've got to set myself up for success and have what I need to look after them right there. So that's it.
And that just concludes that I've just reinforced that stereotype about guys not being that particularly observant. And so therefore, I'm going to make sure I take a photo every single time we have a chat now, Jo, and compare that photograph just in case.
Just in case. Yeah. So do you got, if I can get my, here we go, teeth again. Have you got any nudges that you do for yourself to make your life easier?
That's a good question, actually. Because I'm erratic in terms of behaviour. What do I do to make my life easier? I think drinking water. I know that sounds strange. So having a bottle of water by my bed, so when I wake up in the morning, it's there. It's now I've got that reinforced behaviour of changing that, seeing the positive outcomes of drinking it. So that's something I do now as a regular habit every morning when I get up. Probably that's the only thing that springs to mind. Yeah.
Okay. Well, see if you can think of some more. But in business, think what can you do to put nudges in place? And one of the things is how you do your forms and things like that, because some more examples of nudges, and I'll just look at my notes so I don't miss anything out for you, is making it easy. If you've got forms or check boxes, make them super easy. So things like organ donation in countries where the form has been, you have to tick to opt out instead of tick to opt in. Obviously, the one where you have to tick to opt out, they get higher organ donation and also charitable donations as well. But you've got to be careful of the rules because different places have different rules. There's another nudge as well, which is New York City, the taxi cabs there. And I'm looking at my notes, if that's all right, because I just want to get this right. So they added 3 tipping options in the back of when you pay for your taxi, your cab in New York. They had a tablet computer with 3 default options, 20% tip, 25% and 30%. And actually, the average tip before then was only 10%. So it earned taxi drivers in New York an additional $144 million per year, not each, unfortunately, but overall, because the average tip went from 10% up to 22% because there were those default options in place.
In terms of all other things, as I said, the list could be endless. Think about your own sort of messaging websites and all the rest of it. So social proof, where you request testimonials from others about the good work that you're doing. People are generally speaking quite bad in terms of requesting those testimonials, but that's a good piece of social proof. That's a nudge in terms of a positive reinforcement. Think also about other things. I'm thinking about technology. So I read a study about people trying to save on their energy bills, where they were, trying to be persuaded to turn the thermostat down. That had limited success. But once you automated the process, and we've talked previously on previous shows about automation coming in there, that took the effort and the energy out of that situation, and they found that those savings and that actual reduction of heating was much more dramatic. So all those little things, they have a big impact.
And gamification is a form of nudging. So when you're on TripAdvisor or something like that, do you remember those times where we used to go places and then give it a rating afterwards on TripAdvisor? And you get different badges and different recognitions for going different levels. So it's about giving people little rewards, some well done. You've done this, you've done 5 reviews. If you do another 3, you'll be a super duper reviewer or whatever it is. So that gamification, those little rewards, encouraging people to take the next step. And if you're into coaching, online learning, you've got courses of any sort, you want people to do repeat purchase, enter into a loyalty or a reward scheme, then all of those things are really, really simple ways that you can connect with customers and get them to take the next step and get them to buy more in a good way and for all the right reasons. I think in terms of the other area we were going to talk about tonight is commitment devices. And people say yes if they've already, when people say yes, when people put some effort in, when people have some skin in the game, I think is how you'd say it, Mahmood, they're more likely to follow through in things. So this is also called the IKEA effect. Because if we've had some input into something, we're more invested into it and we're more likely to value it. So if somebody's assembled something themselves from IKEA and are proud of what they've done, they'd expect to get more for it secondhand than something that they hadn't made, that somebody else had put together because of that time investment. And that's supported by studies as well. So how can you get customers and your people, your team, to invest and put things in? And that's why sometimes giving things away for free isn't the best idea, is it?
No, I mean, I think that I'm a big fan of the skin in the game theory. So in terms of running training courses and the rest of it, don't get me wrong, there's a great place for doing something where there's no direct money coming up front. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can look at it in terms of the return that you're going to get for the acquisition of that, so that there's a lot of benefit for doing things for free. But as a general proposition, when you start giving away free, people perceive no value in that. People have no buy-in. People have no commitment. And I've seen lots of cases where people are getting work for the first time, trying to enter into new markets. They give stuff away, and it has 2 or 3 obstacles there. Number one, people expect that repetition. Number two, there's no perceived value on that. As a little tip, by the way, if you are ever going to give something away for free, if you are going to do anything for nothing like a training course or a product, generate an invoice to a customer and then apply 100% discount on that. So at least the customer perceives there's a value. But generally speaking, these days, if I'm running a course, doing something, I avoid the free, not because I'm not generous and don't want people to buy into it, but people, there's no relationship building and people are always going to see cost as the driver behind that.
Yeah. And make sure you give great value. And Jasmine last week was interested in, more about pricing and so on. And I think also what I've seen, particularly through 2020, 2021, with circumstances is people feeling like they've got to give a load of stuff away, and then it's a really hard habit to get out of, starting to charge for things. And I think there was a time where it would have been wrong to to charge too much and to be too salesy, certainly at the beginning of lockdown and that period through there. But as time's moved on, reflect the market you're in, reflect the situation that your customers are in, but also make sure you get some commitment, and your customers will appreciate and value the experience all the more for having paid something to you for it. And the science shows that, the science supports that. And we try and practice what we preach as well, don't we, Mahmood?
100%. And I think on that point, Jo, I don't know if your thoughts on that one is that I think sometimes when we think, we've got to do something for nothing, it's sometimes that decision is made without actually researching it. So sometimes a customer has an expectation that they're happy to pay for something if there's a transformation, if there's a value, if you're giving a service there as well. And I'm seeing Richard's little
I know. Oh dear. Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much.
Negative pricing, Richard. We'll see.
Yeah. So Richard's saying, Crafty Mahmood, I expect 200% discount now. Very, very good.
Yeah. I think that was more to reinforce the point that if you do something for nothing, you've got to try and reinforce that value. And again, discounting, which I think has a place, doing things for nothing, which has its place. Just be very careful as a pricing tactic, because eventually, as you try and force that price up, it becomes very challenging.
Yeah, it does. And and we've got. Talking of pricing, if you want to come and join us, we've got an extra little announcement.
We have. I'm nicely done that. I like we did there, Jo. So
which we've been working on. So you are the first to hear this, everybody. We're actually going to be doing some more details to follow, and the price and so on will follow. And it's not a price; it's your investment. To be fair. So we're going to be running on the 18th of March a half-day business growth plan boot camp. So that's with us. If you can't make it on the day, that's cool. You can watch it on. We can watch it on replay, and you can contact us with any questions and things that you've got. But you will walk away from that event with a business plan on a page. So the key ingredients all in one page, ready for 2021. And we're going to take you through a process. You are going to get it done, and we are live there with you. Not like this. We're going to be on Zoom, so you can ask us questions, or webinar jam rather. So you can be face to face in a mastermind situation, and we will walk you through the process. You'll love it. You'll enjoy it, and you're going to come away with something tangible in your hand. Yeah,
very actionable. When we were talking about this week, so as Jo said, me and Jo, we have a regular catch up, see how things are going, talk about the Business Growth Club, because from the inside, this is coming out to our first year of the Business Growth Club, and we're definitely excited for what our plans are for the following year. And we just thought, wouldn't it be good to give people a sample, a taste? They can feel the temperature of what the full Business Growth Club is all about. And this is a fantastic offer to get involved in. We will share some more details over the next few days, as we sort of refine what the offer is in terms of the content and all the rest of it. But just have it in there, put the date in your diary, and we will reveal all the fuller details later on. Yeah, definitely. So come and join us. And if you've got any suggestions or thoughts about it, or questions that you want us to to think about, let us know, and we'll make sure that we build them in there. So that you get the most benefit from it. And we've got a great show planned next week as well, Mahmood. Next week, come and join us. As you know, we're here 6 p.m. every Tuesday evening, come what may. And our theme next week is 5 ways to grow your business revenue in 2021. So that's one not to be missed. And we really hope we can see you there again next week. Yeah, we'll put the links in the show notes. Watch out for the show notes for next week. I'm excited because there's lots of stuff we're going to talk to you about over the next few weeks here. We've got suggestions obviously coming in for future broadcasts. If you've got a particular theme you want explored or discussed, lob it into the comments and we'll look at it and perhaps factor that into our content plan as well. Yeah,
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be seeing you again, same time, same place next week. 5 ways to grow your business revenue in 2021. And until then, have a good one.
It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Jo. Take care, guys. See you later.
Bye. Hi there, welcome to today's Business Growth Club show. We are so pleased to have you here. The theme is growth marketing.
We're talking about actions and consequences today.
It's all about purpose.
Driving business growth with using KPIs.
We're talking money,